Hi, I'm Chris Hayden with CW Hayden Company. We've been supplying marine and industrial manufacturers from our base in Auburn, Maine since 1948. Today I'd like to show you how I like to prepare steel for paint. I've got a really nasty piece of angle iron here, and I've got three of my more favorite techniques for getting the rust off and getting it prepped so we can get a coat of paint on there that's going to last. Obviously you could also do grit blasting and a pickling or something like that, but for power tool scrubbing and abrading, this is how I like to proceed. First of all, some PPE. I've got cut and abrasion resistant gloves, safety glasses, and a face shield. I also have a guard on my grinder. So what I've got here is 3M fiber disc that's 60 grit. I could use a 36 grit or 40 grit or 50 or something coarser, but if I'm prepping it for paint and it's going to matter at all, then I like to go with something just a little bit finer so that I get a lot of cutting points per square inch to make it fairly quick, but also not really ragged and jagged. So without any more talking, let's just get to it. You can see a lot of sparks flying. We're also getting through the corrosion pretty well, but there's still a fair bit of rust that's underneath there that's going to poke through afterwards. So I'll follow up that with a Scotch-Brite product that I've got next. My next step is an extra coarse Scotch-Brite Precision Abrasive Surface Conditioning Disc. I like to use these with the hook and loop backup pad with a hole cut out in the middle so that it'll actually center it really nicely there, like that. These are great at removing rust that's below the level of the surface that the fiber disc can cut off. I'll also take it down a little further to show you how it can also remove the rust all by itself. Looks like it wasn't quite centered. We got a few sparks off the guard. It might be a little dented. That did remove most of the rust. It didn't remove the mill scale like the fiber disc did. But if you're not worried about mill scale, you're just trying to get a coat of paint on there, that's a good way to go. The last step that I'd like to go with is a flat disc. I know they're very popular in the marketplace. Personally, I don't care for them that much. They tend to grind really aggressively when they're brand new because the abrasive is all nice and sharp and the edges are nice and crisp. But as you wear down through it and the cloth gets exposed, it tends to slow it down a lot. And then it's kind of rubbing across the surface. The other problem with a flat disc, as much as a hard grinding wheel is, when you wear down the corner, you lose your accuracy and you have to kind of struggle to find where the center of your cut is. Okay, so I've adapted this over so I can run the flat disc. Let's give it a try. As you can see, it cut really aggressively at first, but after the first 1 inch of cutting, it started to slow down a lot, and I had to push a lot further and really lay into it to get it to keep cutting, and then it starts to grab and pull and tear. So your accuracy drops off of these flat discs pretty quickly. That's why I still prefer fiber discs, because they are a lot smoother cutting and they also last a lot longer than fiber discs do, grade for grade. These are all 60 grit finishes that we're putting on here, and that's usually adequate for an industrial kind of a coating that can be put on top of that, where appearance isn't so much of an issue, which is what you typically see on a piece of channel steel like this or angle iron. I hope you liked the video. We have a lot more on our website. Check us out sometime at cwhaydenonline.com. Thanks for watching.